Raven.
And I'm Ahmaad.
And we're the Hoods. Welcome to Hood Tales, where we take you through the ups, downs, and merry-go-rounds of millennial marriage. Come on, look quite rigged. Like, Cat Williams in first Sunday. So funny. Anyway. If you are new here, welcome back to the Hood Tales.
What's going on?
This is season 4, episode 2.
2 dose.
And
Is that Spanish? What do you mean?
yeah, said it in Spanish. Good job, Pisces. And today we are talking all about rearranging your priorities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get them together.
Get them in order.
Okay.
What's that church song about?
Get your house
Thank you.
in order. Oh, do it today. Okay.
I thought it was Do It For Me.
No.
I'm not remembering the words.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's another song. Wild Gospel Days. That's what that took me back to.
Wild Gospel.
Wild Gospel Days. The Bible say that when the Bible say this is Bible, not just Christian. It's Bible. The Bible say that when you get married, you're supposed to cleave from your parents and things. Mm-hmm. And that is part of rearranging your priorities once you get married.
It is.
Because
that's the beginning.
It is the beginning.
That's the beginning. Because you're making the choice to propose to therefore get married. Therefore, you cleaving from your parents.
Touche. And not even just cleaving from their home physically, if you're still, living there prior to marriage, but cleaving from the idea and their expectations that they may have had for your life, and possibly including who you partnered your life with and married.
Facts.
Okay. But truly, like, your top priority should be your spouse.
Yes.
Not your parents.
Yes.
Okay? Not your mother. For either one of you. Okay?
Or your father.
Or your father. Okay? Although I don't know if that's an issue we have dealt with.
No.
A lack of cleaving.
Nah, not at all.
I don't think that's an issue we've dealt with. Nah, I've seen it.
For sure, I've seen it. For sure, done seen it.
I've seen it
plenty of times.
I've seen it, both in real life and of course on TV, and from like people sharing their experiences on social media. A lack of cleaving, but also even setting healthy boundaries for your parents. Did you have to have a conversation about setting boundaries with your parents?
It wasn't necessarily a conversation that I had with my parents. But it also was a conversation that I had with my parents. They also, the same way I came to your family, your immediate family, your siblings and your mother, father too, but and I asked them how they felt about me wanting to propose to, your sister or your daughter. Your brother said, I'm cool with that. I like you. You're a little fat for my taste.
He did not say that
to you. Your sister said, oh, and she cried.
No, that's not surprising.
I actually was picking her up from school.
That's funny.
From Saginaw Valley. And then, Mom, I just brought the ring over to the house, and she was just, well, I knew already. That's what you said.
Please.
That's what you said, Mom. But with my siblings, I told them, all of them, like, hey, this is the next step I'm going to take. And at that moment, they knew this is who I'm choosing to marry. This is who I'm choosing to put as a priority. Because if you're choosing to marry someone, make no mistake, they're a priority now. And they're not just that they're a priority, they're the priority. The first one.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Is that a conversation you had to have?
No.
And not really like not in a bad way either.
No, but no, it wasn't. I think that no, it wasn't, and I don't even think that it was one that I would have had to have had.
I get that.
Because my mama knows me. You know what I'm saying? She and I have had several conversations about doing things, how I wanted to do things differently in my marriage. from what I saw my grandmama and them do to my mama, from what I've seen her, what I've seen my cousins go through with my aunt, with their mother being their mother-in-law, or having her be the mother-in-law to their spouses, and how much I learned from watching those experiences, that I just wasn't trying to have to live through those same things. And so because of that, and also just because I am who I am, what was understood didn't have to be explained in that scenario.
For sure.
And I don't think we'll ever have to get to a point where a conversation has to be had.
Yeah.
Because my mama just don't play like that. And she know I don't play like that. So
yeah.
No. But I think that the conversation of even just sharing that you're about to get engaged or proposed with both sides was very much so like clear. But I also think part of that comes with the clarification of like an understanding of who you are as a person. Like I said with my mama, like that wasn't something that I don't think we would have ever had to have done. And really, you didn't either.
I really didn't have to, but I wanted to. You know, I don't like for people to be like, well, I didn't know nothing about it. Nah, everybody will know. Everybody needs to know. This is what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah.
Period. One of the best ways to take inventory of where your priorities lie and if they need to be rearranged is to really look at where you're investing your time and your energy and your focus.
For sure.
Because as we talked about in the season 4 episode 1, about us finding pockets of quality time, investing too much of yourself in the other areas, whether it is your own personal self-development, which I'm a little iffy on that one personally, just as a person. Is like, is that such a thing? As investing too much into yourself?
Yeah.
I don't really believe so, but but some people do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Do.
Some people do. And but whether it's that, whether it's financial goals or career goals or children, that your spouse can tend to feel or ultimately feel second best, or that they're getting the second best version of you.
For sure.
Versus the pouring from a full cup, the intentionality of giving me the best of you.
Giving you the best of me. Anthony Hamilton.
Amazing.
Give yourself to me. Okay.
So funny.
But no, seriously, you really want to take stock or take inventory of where you're investing your most time, because you might also realize that I do have enough time. I can take away, 20, 30 minutes here and spend time with you. You know what I'm saying? Or even a simple, if you're taking stock, let your person know that I'm still thinking about you. Baby, I'm running to and fro all day, but I love you. Just random throughout the day. I saw this and I thought about you. I picked you up some flowers today. Small things to let your person know that I'm still here. I'm still invested in this marriage or in this relationship.
And that you're still important to me.
Bam. That's exactly what I was going to say, bro. You should read my brain.
And then after taking that inventory of like where your investments lie, or another way to take advantage of or take inventory of that is to actually make a list of the top 5 important things to you, in order. Okay, and to actually write down your priorities. And I think this is a good thing that can be done together, especially if a lack of prioritization is something that you all are feeling or a partner is feeling. But for sure, my top 5 in said order are God, me, our marriage, family, and then my business / career. What are your 5?
That's it.
The exact same 5? But after the 5, evaluating whether your actions actually line up with where you say your priorities lie. You know what I mean? So for me, sometimes that also, I talked about in the first episode how I work a lot of overtime. But when I was not for 4 months, we spent a lot of quality time together because I realized that on those Saturdays, that by the time you get home from the shop, I'm yours, and I'm yours to do whatever you want to do. Like, we don't always have plans. Okay, sir. We don't always have plans set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, there's a freedom there
to do
whatever we want to do. To decide to hit a movie in an hour. To decide, you know what I mean? To decide to go walk around the mall or whatever. Because there's now an open space there for that. Yeah. In a place where working might have taken it, and not in a negative manner, I don't think, because I don't think either one of us was feeling like we weren't a priority, but it created a space to show that each other was just a little bit more.
And it's also important to realize, like, you know, when you're making your list of priorities, the same way you can give some more time to your spouse, you might need to give some more time to yourself.
Touche.
You might need to give some more time to God. You might need to give some more time to your business. You know what I'm saying? And also, after that, communicating that. Hey, babe, this is where I am in my priorities list. You know what I'm saying? And also reassure your partner you're still on the top of the list. Never make the mistake of them not being on the top of the list. Because most times, you know, life is up and down. So that list might be up and down. But always, sorry, baby.
Jesus Christ.
I know it was. My hand was just up there.
I know.
But you always want to reassure your partner, like, you're still on my list and high on my list. That's it. That's all I got there.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I would also say with that, though, is adding in being clear of what each other's expectations are.
Yes.
Because we didn't really do that, so this is something we're like trying to implement now, which is why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Because we do have a lot of goals for this year that we are like intentionally trying to work towards in a way in which we haven't really done previously. Yeah. Like Ahmaad and I have been in the gym since November.
Yes.
We lost a ton of weight, so don't be looking. Yeah. We ain't on the Ozempic, okay? We're doing it the old school, old fashioned way in the gym 3 days a week with a trainer, okay?
Crying about it.
Crying every day, every time I go. But even in that, right? Like, it's been something that it is more time together that we would typically spend sleeping because we would be in the bed, or one of us would be up working on content or working on overtime while he was sleeping. You know what I mean? Like, it was like it is now a few extra hours that we spend together 3 days a week. It is now another point of connection for us because it's something that we are doing together. We are doing the same exercises together. We are, you know, if Ahmaad don't get up to go to the gym, we're not going. I can't see the drive. So it is literally a pull and push on each other to actually meet that goal to go.
Yeah. Also, you get to see, for us, because we've been in the gym since November, you get to see your partner transform. You get to see them turn into someone new, someone different. And you get to aid in that growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're there every day. You're helping them throughout sets, you know. Raven she might be like, you know, damn this exercise, but baby, push through, you got it, you know. But still, that's still time that you're putting towards, you know, being with one another, you know, and making the other person a priority while simultaneously making yourself one.
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel like we both have a lot of business goals this year that relate to one another and don't all at the same time. And so far this year, I feel like we haven't done a ton of content yet.
Yeah, for sure.
But today's a heavy one.
It is.
Right? Today's a heavy one.
Yeah.
And so we have an unspoken expectation of shoot days.
Yes.
Right? Like, we know I've been doing this for a little while now, that on the day of a shoot day, we try not to do too much.
Yeah.
Right? We try not to do too much. I did cook, made some goulash, and then I helped finish it because I was still working. Because I worked some overtime today.
Yeah.
We took that to my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and we came back, and we're shooting content.
Yeah.
We probably won't do nothing else today.
Nope.
We're probably just gonna chillax on the couch. I may start editing, I may not.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's it, right? That's it. Now tomorrow's gonna look a lot different.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's gonna look a lot different because we're gonna get up, we're gonna go to the gym. I have the day off. Well, I'm gonna work some overtime, but I have the day off. And Ahmaad's gonna go to work. And then he's gonna go feed himself and fill his own cup by going to bowling.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go hang out with a friend. I also may just lay in the bed because that is what feeds me.
It is.
Okay.
Like to sleep.
I just like being in the bed. I like being. I want to be in the bed. Do everything from the bed. That is my motto. But we are now, and I feel like we did this really well when we set our 2024 goals for the year, for having expectations of what we actually plan to spend time doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
You know
it's
what I mean?
so easy.
Like, it is very easy to do, but I feel like we're trying to be a lot more intentional with those priorities,
Mm-hmm.
in ways that we haven't before. So like, we are fully understanding of, although our 5 are God, me, marriage, family, business, and career, number 5 is gonna shift a little higher up
Mm-hmm.
this year, because there are things that we want to do, so that way 2025, or even by the end of 2024, we have accomplished the things that we said we wanted to have happen.
In a different space.
Yeah. And so even realizing what that way may look like, and sort of a preparation for that shift,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that may look like more date nights at the crib. That may look like a lunch date on a Saturday versus dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Then, you know what I mean? Like, it's finding the pockets to do such. And shifting those and setting expectations of what it looks like to shift it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, what is it still enough with the shift?
Asking that.
Is it still enough in this shift of every piece of our relationship being fed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that matters. You want to make sure that there's a balance is a myth. Okay. Refer back to season 1, I believe. Actually.
I think so. I think that was season 1.
But you know, your priorities are going to shift at some point. But it's always a good thing to check in with your partner to say, hey, right now, is this quality time that we're spending together, is this enough? You know, they may say yes. You know, they may say no. And if they say no, how can we adjust to where it's enough? Because you always want to make sure that you're filling up that love tank, so again, there's no disconnect.
Good stuff, Ozzy's. Do you have anything else to add? Do you have a hood highlight for today?
Keep what's important. That's it.
Sweet, short, to the point.
You better.
My hood highlight for today would have to be keep everybody out your marriage. Always and forever. That is always my motto. I do not care. That is always my motto. But really just not being afraid to have the hard conversations, because even with what we were talking about with like the expectations and priorities, is those can be difficult when it's not being met.
Very difficult.
And so those can be difficult conversations. They're difficult feelings to navigate, and therefore, you know, harder conversations to have, to tell your partner that they are lacking in an area and that you feel the deficit heavy enough to voice it. And that's hard.
It is.
That's hard. It's a hard realization to make. Some not a failure per se, but failing in an area, right? Like, you know, and so it takes 2 to tango, but in that deficit, it's just hard to. It's a hard space to be in, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. as I'm also telling myself, although I don't feel like we're in a deficit yet, I can see one coming just because of the way in which our goals are set up for the year. That not one coming, but how, because I'm not speaking that, okay? But like how we could get there, and how we're trying to be proactive with a lot of things, which I feel like we have tried to do from day one of just dating. Is even in having this conversation is like preparing for the conversation of, okay, like you have certain business goals, so that means moving your suite or moving locations, or it's moving cities, or you know what I mean, or working longer hours, or whatever the case may be, that preparing for that shift, because it is just a simple change of routine, because even if I'm in the other room working, I'm here, and that makes a difference. So yeah, I guess my highlight is not to be afraid to lead into the hard conversations, because as we often say in our church's marriage group, we assume good intent. Assuming the good intent of me voicing my lack of this deficit is also me assuming the good intent of you hearing me and us attacking the plan together. Not assuming, you know what I mean? Like it's truly is the assuming of the good intent of it all. Because this is also why I talked about love takes work. It was my number one lesson in the first episode of season 4, because Chile, this is the work. Like, this is the work. This is the daily work that truly is work, to keep the fire, to keep the love in the air.
Because patience is also work.
Well, patience is also work.
When after you voiced to your partner that, hey, this is the lack that I'm receiving, we need to do something different. You also now have to be patient with them for the change. You also have to be patient with them and them reorganizing their priorities. And that can be hard. And let's be honest, it can be hard. It is hard. You know what I'm saying? When you want something to change, you need that to change right now. You know what I'm saying? When I need my car fixed right now, literally. But but still, like, you want that change to be immediate. And people are not set up like that. You have to get that change into your mind, into your heart, to where you're still doing everything that you need to do to make everything work.
That was a very long highlight, y'all.
But it was good.
But that was my highlight of the moment. As always, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much.
You can find the podcast on visual on YouTube. I think I forgot to say the last episode. You can find it visually on YouTube on my YouTube channel, Raven Camille TV. You can follow the Hood Tales Instagram page on @HoodTalesPod. I am _Raven Camille on both TikTok and Instagram.
Your podcast on Facebook is also
Hood
Tales with Raven Ahmaad Hood. I am also _The Gentleman's Groomer on Instagram and TikTok. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.
All the things.
Y'all have a great week.
Till next time, y'all. Bye.
See you.